It would seem as though.
It would seem as though we're back.
Wouldn't it, though?
It would. You know what? I have to tell you, I'm so excited because this week we had more listeners than we've had any other week.
Yes, ma'am.
And we were in week 10. This is actually, we're recording week 11.
Oh, my God.
I'm super excited. Yeah, so for those of you who are new to us, thank you so much for joining. And for those of you who just figured out that you have to download the an podcast listening device, you know, an app on your phone, your computer, your whatever.
I want you to know that like 3 separate people this week have asked me about our podcast. But my friends. And
you have no friends.
Okay, people I know. My
okay, that sounds more like it.
And one of my coworkers was like, "Wait, is it on all streaming services?" I was like, "Yeah, girl, it is."
But is it on all of them?
All of them. So yeah, no.
Oh my god!
We got a couple
Before we get any further, I'm Vesta.
I'm Annika. Sometimes
you are Annika.
Usually,
you most of the time, unless you're feeling less Annika that day.
Usually, I'm over it. Is who I am, girl.
Ova. First name's Ova. Last name It.
How dare you?
No, I'm over it. So we're going to talk about different things today, and one of the things I want to talk about is I want to talk about the Oscars, but not about Will Smith because I don't care.
I don't care about it.
Although I did hear a really terrible joke that I am going to retell, just because, and it's not my joke. I'm not taking credit for this joke, whether it's good or bad, whether you think it's funny or not. Mm-hmm. What did Chris Rock wake up with on his face this morning?
Tell me, girl.
Fresh Prince.
Yeah, I love
bad.
it.
I know it's bad, but it made me laugh. Yeah, no, what I want to talk about with the Oscars is that history was made. Okay. Miss Ariana DeBose, who's an Afro-Latina, and a queer Afro-Latina, and an out and proud queer Afro-Latina. All those things. She was the first openly queer Afro-Latina woman to win an Oscar.
Okay.
Moreover, she was the first one to ever be nominated for an Oscar. Mm-hmm. So, there we are. But what's interesting is, so she won her Best Supporting Actress for West Side Story for the part of Anita.
Right.
60 years ago, exactly 60 years ago, one of my other favorite Latinas, Miss Rita Moreno, won for the exact same role. So yes, Miss Rita Moreno, who is now 90.
Jesus.
I know. And still just going. She's doing her thing. She's amazing. I just watched a documentary about her. It was so, so good. Okay. Anyway, she won for the same role 60 years ago. Okay. Because they actually cast a Latina in the role of a Latina 60 years ago. Not the lead one.
Right, of course not.
No,
why would they do that?
That was a white girl.
Why would they do that?
But I was super excited that even in her speech when she won, you know, she was like being a very proud out queer woman. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like that's not usually the kind of thing you hear in the Oscar speeches. No, it's very rare. So good for you.
Snaps.
Kudos. And that's really all that I really cared about with the Oscars.
Okay, no, but wait, listen. I loved the Lady Gaga and Liza Minnelli moment.
I didn't, so this was the first year I didn't watch the Oscars.
Okay, well, have you seen it since then?
I haven't seen the Oscars. I've seen a picture.
Okay. So basically they're going to present the Best Picture.
Oh, okay.
And you know, Liza is also quite ancient and also has problems. She's an old lady. And Gaga was up there helping her present. And it was seamless and beautiful. And people really applauded Gaga for how she handled it. And like at one point bent over and their mics are on and she says, "I got you." And Liza says, "I know."
Oh,
she says, "I know, thank you." And it's just very sweet. And yeah, it was very good. You should look that up. There's a million articles about it.
I will. Mm-hmm. Well, I saw that the Oscars are still available to watch on Hulu.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm going to Hulu it later.
I know. Well, okay, and since I don't care also about the Will Smith debacle, it's two elite men who got angry. But here's what I will say is it's none of my business. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm just some white woman, and what I will tell you is that if you're a comedian and you're punching down, it's not funny.
No.
And if you're punching down, you may know this person, but the fact is she has a condition. She didn't think it was funny. And one thing I think people need to realize, and I think a lot of European culture and white people mostly need to realize, that violence is more than just physical violence. Violence is words. Violence is other actions other than just physical violence. So someone made an ugly comment. Someone else acted in a way that was physical violence. Again, it's none of my business.
They were both wrong.
Yeah, right. But it's none of my business. And
but
also,
there's that.
Like,
but the other thing that puzzled me about the whole thing is I watched that. I've seen that little clip several times. When he tells the stupid joke, which is in very poor taste.
Stupid,
Will Smith laughed. Mm-hmm. And then he turns around and looks at his wife,
and Jada's pissed.
Is pissed and rolls her, and she was like, she looked unhappy.
Well, and then
that's at what point I personally would have turned and just said, "Wow, I'm sorry, I laughed."
Yeah,
but
he did the damn thing.
He did do it, and so I'm not saying if it was my family how I would react.
Right,
and again, it's not like you said, not my business. I had nothing to do with it.
No, girl. But I will say, within Black culture, hair is a very, very important symbol.
And he's very aware of that. He made a whole fucking documentary about it.
Yes,
come on, he knows better. He talked in his documentary how his little girls, I mean, they're not little anymore,
right?
But how his little girls were like, Daddy, do I have good hair?
Right?
You know how important hair is in Black culture, especially to Black women. And then you make that joke,
and
then he's like, but it was a G.I. Jane joke.
Yeah, stop it. And you also, she's been open about her alopecia, and she has been open about how she was suicidal, had suicidal ideations at times, because, I mean, it's very upsetting. Your identity is a part of that, you know what I mean? And so, again, I am not a Black person, I am not a Black woman, but anyone can tell you, if you have met a Black woman, you understand that their hair is very important to them, and it's a part of culture, and to make a disparaging comment about somebody, especially as a condition, it's just poor taste and ugly. And so, when Will Smith did it, I was like, well, okay. Tiffany Haddish said, sometimes discipline needs to be administered. And I'm all,
that's funny. I was going to bring up my very good friend, Tiffany Haddish, who, I see on the regular.
Right.
And she, as a stand-up comedian, I really kind of thought that she would fall on the side of, this comedian's a joke, whatever, whatever. But she did not. She was all, no, he was out of line.
Yeah, girl, you act out of pocket, you're going to be handled like it.
What's the phrase? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And he won a stupid prize. So if we're not talking about it, then we talked about it. So,
if you're going to be stupid, you better be tough. You know
but here is on my next little thing I wanted to talk about. Okay. We do actually have a topic today, but none of these are it yet. We're going to talk about death and things around death and whatever. But did you hear that the Social Security Administration just passed a law? I don't know, whatever you would call it.
A doodad.
Saying that same-sex couples who were married or unable to get married during that whole debacle where it's like, it's legal. Now it's not legal. But a lot of people got married and then they were like, oh, but your marriage is
kidding.
Not,
it's an LOL.
It's not valid. They have now said that the surviving spouses can claim spousal... spousal, what's the word I'm looking for? God,
support.
My brain spoke. Yes, but it's not. Yes.
Pension?
Benefits. God almighty. This is the problem with getting old, bitch.
Good at things.
The word flew right up out my head. But they can now claim spousal benefits.
Love it. Yeah.
Which has always been just straight.
Right.
Married. And you had to be married, too.
Heterosexual.
The heterosexuals. Because, it's all heteronormative. And so I heard that this week.
Yeah,
awesome.
Snaps for that.
Huge step forward.
Thank you.
And then just a little moment I want to take for the amazing, amazing Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yes! Mm-hmm.
First of all, how much foolishness did this woman have to put up with? And you saw her. She never rolled her eyes.
Nope.
She never cracked. My eyes would have rolled so hard I'd have been falling over backwards in that goddamn chair. Because people said the dumbest shit to her.
The dumbest shit. And the fact of the matter is, she didn't roll her eyes, she didn't do anything, but she sat there stoic. And she was just like, just waiting.
Yeah, I know they don't give Oscars for that, but they should.
Girl, she should win every award. She has an EGOT now, girl. She's won every award.
Right?
She wins.
Because I watched her, and I'm all, bitch, how are you not... Even rolling an eye or nothing.
The
I
dumbest
would have been
questions.
clicking my tongue and rolling my eyes and holding my head in my hands.
Doodling on paper, bitch. That would have been me. Been like, these fucking idiots.
Help me.
Right?
And Ted Cruz.
Trash monster.
Being all pissed that they were talking about a book that specifically says racism has to be taught. He's mad about that. Yeah. Why the fuck you think you're born and going, I hate other people? No, you have to be taught that.
No.
And what's interesting to me is somebody brought up this point on the Ticking Talk this week. It was this gentleman talking about the musical South Pacific. And if you're not familiar with, there's a song in South Pacific called "You Have to Be Carefully Taught," and it's about racism. And it's, you don't just get born and go, "Oh, I'm white, so I hate black people." No, someone has to teach you that there is something wrong, and they don't teach you by sitting you down and going, "Now you should know." They teach you by the way they behave, by the way they treat people, because children, they're little sponges. They see how you treat people,
and they want to act how you act often.
Yes,
right.
And so they see like how you treat staff at a restaurant. And they're like, oh, well, waiters and waitresses, I guess, don't deserve to be treated with respect. I'll treat them like garbage. Oh, we treat black people badly? Okay, I'll treat... they learn that.
Oh, 100%.
And so that was one of the things he was pissed off about. What is it? Is he new here? I'm sorry,
I think so, to be honest.
Oh, God, he's such trash.
I know,
he
is
really,
trash.
really is.
Well, and one of the arguments about teaching racism or critical race theory or integrating any of that into a curriculum is that, oh no, we're going to teach the little white children to hate themselves. And I'm like, that's not what? Like, because you teach history and because you teach accurate social phenomenon, which is ugly and divisive and harmful. Racism has murdered how many people, in the name of racism?
Yes.
And so, like, teaching children that this is an occurrence won't... it's not going to make them hate themselves. Your children, all of your children, were raised to, in a way, decenter themselves as white people. You know what I mean? You taught them about sexuality, about gender, about race, about difference, and how it's not something to be othered or just tolerated. It's just a part of life, and it's people are different, and that's great. I'm
going to say that I hate tolerance.
Oh my God! Don't tolerate me.
Don't fucking tolerate
accept
me.
It, bitch.
I would much rather you hated me than you tolerated me.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's like, I've had this pain in my foot for years, but I tolerated it.
Yep.
No, bitch, I would rather you hated me.
Yep.
Be honest with your feelings. Yeah. But hate me because I'm an asshole. Don't hate me because...
Hate me for a reason.
Right.
A real reason.
So, and I have always said, wait till you get to know someone to hate them.
Right.
I could never hate a group of people.
No, you don't hate someone because of their skin color.
No.
Because they're queer, because they're fat,
but if you get to know them and they're assholes, feel free to hate them.
Hate them for... And I used to say that shit, like, hate me. You don't like me? Then hate me for a very real reason. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like, right. I don't care.
No. No, and really, I don't care. If you hate me, I don't care. Well, it's none of my business how you feel about me. And I don't care.
No, girl. It's so funny I said that today to somebody that it's none of my business what other people think of me. Because it isn't. Absolutely isn't. But, I don't remember what I was going to say now. Thanks a lot.
Sorry I interrupted. But it really, it's the tolerance. Every time I hear people say, we need to tolerate...
No, you don't.
We need to be tolerant.
You need to accept.
You need to accept that you are not the only kind of person on the world.
Right.
The world is full of people.
Why is it so
and they're
hard?
Not all like you. In fact, probably very few are like you. Everybody's different. Get over it.
People just don't want to be confronted and be uncomfortable in their own lives. But the thing that they don't realize is queer people, fat people, people of color, disabled people are always uncomfortable in mainstream society. Yes. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Sorry, hit the table. But you know what I mean. I was angry, damn it.
No, I appreciate the...
cisgendered, heterosexual white people.
The enthusiasm.
Right, bitch. They need to fucking get it. That, like, your experience is not universal.
Right.
Your experience is minute comparatively to people who have been marginalized or othered. You know what I mean?
Right. I do. I was talking with a friend. Okay. And we were talking about school, which really, if I was the kind of person to get triggered by every little thing, school would be one of those things.
Sure, same.
Because school for me was traumatic for 12 long years. Because I was bullied every single day, because I was weird and because I was fat and because I was... who cares? what they didn't seem to understand, because they didn't have that, they were like, well, yeah, I got bullied sometimes too. I go, no, not sometimes.
No. And shut up.
Every day that I went to school,